What's up everybody, D-Man back, welcome to a brand new video, and today we are going to be doing another Godzilla discussion video. Back in 2017, a YouTuber named Entertain the Elk posted a video in which he analyzed how Steven Spielberg introduces characters. He argues that character introductions are best when they use one of two techniques. The first technique he goes into detail about is action. This goes back to the old show don't tell rule. It's pretty self-explanatory. Actions speak louder than words. We're supposed to see something the character does that signifies who they are as a person. This action is supposed to reveal their character. The character's presence is meant to be felt and understood through what they are doing, how they appear, or when they appear. The other technique Entertain the Elk goes into detail about is fraction. It's when bits and pieces of characters are revealed rather than the characters themselves. This is a way to create mystery around the character being shown. They're only being shown in parts and fragments, so we're being teased at what their final reveal looks like. This is a way to make a character feel much larger than life. As he states in the video, anticipation of danger is greater than danger itself. And this can be translated to multiple things. The anticipation of something is usually more satisfying than the actual reveal of that thing. It is argued in the original video that using both methods is key to character introduction. This leads to Gareth Edwards' Godzilla, released in 2014. Most of the characters introduced in Godzilla 2014 follow one of these two basic methods. Serizawa is shown looking at his pocket watch. This is a small action of his which we learn more about as the film goes on. It makes his introduction very meaningful and tells us quite a lot about his character and his attachments. It's especially satisfying upon rewatchings of the movie and in conjunction with 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters. Ford Brody, the main protagonist in Godzilla 2014, is shown in fraction. We see bits and pieces of him as he makes his way around his house, before we finally get the reveal of the young boy who we will watch go through a tragic event before he grows up into a man. Joe is introduced while on the phone. This call tells us a lot about his priorities. It shows that he's more worried about the nuclear power plant he works at than his own family.
He made you a sign, your birthday sign. He worked so hard.
God.
I'm gonna come home early. I'll take the car and pick him up and we can get a proper cake, okay?
Listen, I need to know that it's not the censors. Okay, I can't be calling this meeting and look like the American maniac.
It also gives us a sense of urgency and reveals a bit about the plot. This action of having Joe on the phone, ignoring his birthday sign, ignoring everything going on in his house, and only focusing on the danger coming, gives us a real sense of who he is as a character that we will see develop throughout his character arc in the film. It could also explain why he feels so guilty over his wife's death, as he felt that he wasn't always there for his family. But these aren't the characters I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the monsters, because that's what we're all here for, right? Before we get into Godzilla, I want to talk a little bit about how Gareth Edwards uses these same Spielbergian techniques with the MUTOs. Mystery and suspense is built over the MUTO. The creature teased without ever even being shown in the very first scene of the movie. The mystery builds as we see its egg in the mountain it erupted from. It continues to grow as we watch the creature destroy the power plant without ever getting a glimpse of it. And then finally, we see the cocoon. Once the MUTO hatches, the character is fully revealed through both action and fraction. He kills a bunch of people, destroying a Monarch facility as he escapes a base. All the while, we only see glimpses of him. He's so large, and there's lights flickering, and it makes everything so disorienting. We never get a good look at him until it all culminates in his massive reveal as he rises up out of the pit above Ford Brody. This gives a real sense of scale and power to the MUTO. The female MUTO, however, does not get much of this treatment. She only gets action. There's not very much fraction or teasing building up to her reveal at all. That's why her reveal doesn't make nearly the impact that the male MUTOs does. It doesn't get the full Spielberg treatment. We are simply told of her existence and then shown her destroying Las Vegas. There's no real build up to it, and so there's no payoff with her reveal. But let's get to the title character, because that's the point of this video. Today I wanted to talk about Godzilla. The introduction to the movie is a montage that is set in 1954, where we get a great look at fragmented pieces of Godzilla. The full monster is never revealed and the anticipation is immediately built. The film has a great hook. We are instantly wanting to see Godzilla's full body. We see an image of him that's obstructed by water. This later appears appears during a briefing with Serizawa, once again teasing our interest in seeing the monster. Like I said, this gives us a good look at him without ever showing him clearly. It builds up our anticipation and lets us think about what he might look like when he's fully out of the water without ever actually showing that. Once Godzilla is ready to be revealed, Gareth Edwards does it all. Godzilla's fins are seen in the water as he rushes onto shore. This gives us a fragmented look at him. We see him avoid destroying military ships as he rushes inland to stop the MUTO. This gives us an indication through his actions that he's respectful of mankind. He causes a massive tsunami as he comes on shore, showing the sheer magnitude and power of Godzilla. He is truly a force of nature. Flares are fired up and slowly reveal his enormous body. Once again, we never get a full look at him in this shot. He's literally too large to fit in the frame. Soldiers open fire on him and we get glimpses of the creature. It's impossible to show us more of Godzilla than we see in this moment, because like I said, he is larger than life and larger than the frame will allow. Godzilla then disappears behind a building before we get a good look at him, but all the while, we have seen his neck, we have seen his chest, we have seen his leg, we have seen his arm, and we have seen his tail. We have never gotten a good look at the creature, and not all at once either. This leads to the airport scene, which in my opinion is one of the greatest scenes in Godzilla franchise history. It's brilliant. At this point, we've already seen the reveal of the MUTO, so the movie doesn't hold back. We get a great action scene of the MUTO in the forest before he rampages his way through the airport, and then Godzilla appears. This is his full introduction for the movie, and he is revealed through both action and fraction. We see the final bit of Godzilla's wave wash ashore underneath the feet of some workers, indicating that the Titan has arrived. This gives the audience a clue of his presence and ties him back to the force of nature aspect that I talked about previously. His dorsal fins rise up and we get a fraction of a look at him as he's shown through the cockpit of a helicopter. We see him only briefly before the helicopter crashes. The music swells and we get an awesome cut showing a domino explosion that reveals Godzilla. By cutting all sound as Godzilla's foot stomps down, a tremendous sense of power is created. Revealing Godzilla from the ground up is also brilliant because it shows his scale. Again, we've already seen the MUTO's first appearance, so the movie doesn't hold back on it. We cut back to the MUTO, showing his reaction to Godzilla. This gives both the audience an indication of Godzilla's relationship with the MUTO, and the audience a bit more sense of anticipation as they're teased just a little bit longer, waiting for Godzilla's full reveal. And then Godzilla is shown in an excellent pan up from the ground that emphasizes his power and scale. Explosions occur around him that don't affect him. This shows how powerful he truly is and how indestructible he is. The placement of airplanes in the foreground gives some perspective into how large Godzilla is. And the pan up finally rewards the patience that the audience has been waiting for. It finally shows us Godzilla. Again, all sound is cut as we hear his world-shattering roar, making it that much more impactful. Like I said, this moment is great. It's brilliant. I really do struggle to find a moment in Godzilla franchise history that is as impactful as this moment. Love or hate what follows, I think this moment alone is brilliant. And I want to contrast that with the recent Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I want to make very clear right now before I get comments about it. I absolutely loved Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think that movie is so fun. I really like that movie. So I don't want people to be like, oh man, why are you hating on it? I'm not. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm just saying I want to contrast Godzilla King of the Monsters approach to revealing Godzilla with Godzilla 2014's approach, because I think 2014 does it way better. And like I've said in past videos, I think Godzilla 2014 is a better, more well-made movie than Godzilla King of the Monsters, but I like Godzilla King of the Monsters more because it's way more entertaining. Anyways, we contrast the airport scene, which is perfection in my opinion, with Godzilla's introduction to King of the Monsters. Godzilla is shown in the very first few shots of the film. In fact, we hear him before the movie even starts. And although I love the tie-in to the original movie with the footsteps and the roar, it doesn't give us as much sense of a build-up to revealing him, especially because we see him so shortly after it. If it was done the way it was done in Shin Godzilla, or in the original Godzilla from 1954, where we can hear the roar, we can hear the footsteps, but we're still teased as to what the creature looks like until he finally shows up later in the movie, that's okay, that's one thing, but this is completely different. There's no build-up at all. The movie starts out and Godzilla appears right away. He's not revealed through fractions, revealed in a simple pan shot, which shows the camera looking over and Godzilla coming through a building. There's not much action to it either, as all Godzilla's doing is stepping on the ground, although he is destroying a building in the process with the implication that he's killing innocent lives. We already knew that because we've seen the last movie, so this doesn't reveal anything new about Godzilla's character. Although I like Godzilla King of the Monsters, I think it's definitely a weaker character introduction, and in my opinion, the flashback scene that opens the movie should have been saved until after Godzilla's reveal under the sea, because there is a great character introduction for Godzilla in this movie. There's two of them, in fact. The movie teases Godzilla's new redesign in such a brilliant way. It's so intense. We see that great intimidation display, which has one of the greatest jump scares in any movie I've seen in a long time, and we never get a good sense of what Godzilla looks like. We only get glimpses of his face. We only get fragments of him in the water. It's a great tease of what Godzilla looks like before we finally get the epic reveal of him in the Antarctic, which mirrors and parallels the Godzilla 2014 airport scene. I really think the movie does itself a disservice by placing the flashback sequence in the very beginning of the film, because it takes away all of the buildup that we could have had and all of the buildup that Godzilla 2014 does so well. So that's just my hot take on it. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if you guys think about it as much as I do about that kind of stuff. There's other Godzilla movies that I have this same critique with. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla from the 90s. I think that movie has the same problem, showing Godzilla in the first scene rather than teasing out his buildup. And there's other Godzilla movies that I think does his reveal very well, such as Terror of Mechagodzilla has an incredible reveal for the character. But the airport scene in Godzilla 2014 specifically stands out to me as Godzilla's best introduction throughout the franchise, because it's so powerful. You really feel that. I just think it's fantastic. So that's what I wanted to make a video about today. Let me know what you guys think about all that down below, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man, out.